Guess what this is about? Susan Rice getting caught spying on Trump. Susan Rice just got the worst news of her life. It's time to be investigated. Yeah, I'd like not to look at intestines at 8 in the morning. Former National Security Advisor Susan Rice is now tied to the unmasking scandal that rocked the country for the past week. She's tied to Obama to the hip. The House Intelligence Committee has now officially gotten Susan Rice to testify. Apparently, Susan Rice is going to be brought before the House Intelligence Committee to testify supposedly under oath. According to the Wall Street Journal, Rice is on the list of witnesses that were drawn up as part of a probe into the scandal. Republicans and Democrats both agreed on the list of 30 witnesses. Here's what Rand Paul said.
You did call this a smoking gun, which says that you believe this proves some sort of collusion, perhaps, between the Trump campaign and Russia. What do you believe it's a smoking gun for?
The smoking gun is that President Trump said that he was wiretapped. We don't have wires in our phones anymore. Nobody actually literally taps a wire. They might on occasion, but for the most part, we use the term wiretapping to mean eavesdropping. So now we know that someone in the Obama administration was eavesdropping and specifically searching a data bank looking for the Trump people. That's a big deal.
Senator,
You heard
there's
that?
a difference
I heard-
you know between incidental.
I heard, no. Do you know that? Did you hear them? We now know someone was eavesdropping. Oh, no. Do you know that?
For the Trump people. That's a big deal.
Senator, there's a difference you know between incidental.
And specifically searching a data bank looking for the Trump people. That's a big deal.
Every one of them.
There's a difference you know between
Every one of them.
incidental surveillance.
Looking for the Trump people. That's a big deal.
Senator, there's a difference you know between incidental surveillance, which is what this was, and ordering wiretapping on an office.
I think it's a mistake.
To assert that this proves what Donald Trump said is true.
I think it's a mistake.
Irresponsible.
I think it's a mistake to downgrade this and say, oh, it was just incidental, it's no big deal. It is a huge deal that we are collecting millions of Americans' phone calls and that someone...
It is gigantic. Huge. 1,000 times bigger than Watergate. And a president resigned over Watergate. President Nixon resigned over Watergate. This is 1,000 times worse. So you five little... I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. You 5 assholes have some nerve. And you should go to jail just for being that stupid. Your collective 5 brains don't equal up to 1 brain. This man right here. Your 5 brains do not equal up to his 1. You do not belong or deserve the right to speak to this man, let alone President Trump. You're a bunch of assholes.
You can go to a keyboard and put your name in and search it without a warrant. This is an illegal, warrantless search. This is the kind of stuff that is rife for abuse from either party. And Joe had it exactly right when he said, if Dick Cheney did this to the Obama administration, Bill and every other leftist in the country would be on the other side of this issue. It's not a partisan issue.
But you know what? It's very, very different thing to say someone in the Obama administration was surveilling, was listening to specific conversations. We just simply don't know that.
Well, here's the thing: is you can order the specific, listening device, or you can say, you know what, we already have it, and it's this amazing reverse targeting, and we have millions of people in a database, and I can be Susan Rice and go down and type Donald Trump or General Flynn into a database, and boom, up comes all this information. Is that not the same as ordering the surveillance? They know it exists. Look, every international businessman or woman who talks overseas is in that database. Do we want political officials to be able to type in the name of Bill Gates and find out they have a deal going on in Europe?
But those things
We do
are
not want that to happen.
That's the point.
I believe Susan Rice abused this system, and she did it for political purposes. She needs to be brought in and questioned.
Okay, you believe that, but none of us here, including Senator, with all due respect, know that. So let's just
Oh my God.
And I'm not defending Susan Rice.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
President Obama
Yeah, you are.
whether he knew about it.
Yes, you are defending her. You are. All 5 of you.
That is a big deal if the outgoing administration was actually literally sifting through things, and part of his administration already said we were going to scatter, we were going to get as much information, we were going to scatter it out there publicly to try to harm the Trump administration. This was a witch hunt that began with the Obama administration, sour grapes on the way out the door. They were going to use the intelligence apparatus to attack Trump, and I think they did.
Yeah, what about Farakis? What about the lady Farakis who came on? The lady who worked for Trump, and she said, yeah, we were told, we were told to gather as much as we can before coming out of office, because once Trump gets in, we won't be able to spy on him anymore, and blah, 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 blah. And and by the way, that's where all the leaks came from. What about her? What about Farakis and Rice? Give me a break. Earlier on Tuesday, Rice said that she didn't use the info on Trump's associates for political reasons. She said she didn't leak anything about Mike Flynn. Yeah. This is her on a morning show denying any knowledge of it. 1 second. Let me just play the beginning of this because it's got that in it. There we go. Just in case it doesn't have it.
How do you respond? Well, Andrea, this is not anything political has been alleged. The allegation is that somehow Obama administration officials utilized intelligence for political purposes. That's absolutely false. Let me explain how this works. I was a national security advisor. My job is to protect the American people and the security of our country.
Lying piece of crap.
That's the same as the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, the CIA director. And every morning, to enable us to do that, we receive from the intelligence community a compilation of intelligence reports that the IC, the intelligence community, has selected for us on a daily basis to give us the best information as to what's going on around the world. I received those reports, as did each of those other officials, and there were occasions when I would receive a report in which a U.S. person was referred to, name not provided, just U.S. person. And sometimes in that context, in order to understand the importance of the report and assess its significance, it was necessary to find out or request the information as to who that U.S. official was. Let me give you just a hypothetical example. This is completely made up, but let's say there was a conversation between 2 foreigners about a conversation they were having with an American who was proposing to sell to them high-tech bomb-making equipment. Now, if that came to me...
You mean like Hillary talking to Russia about selling 20% of our uranium to a Canadian company, and then just as soon as they did that, very short, like a week, a month, very short time right after that, Russia bought that company from Canada? So now Russia owns the 20% of the uranium? Is that kind of a deal?
Me as National Security Advisor, it would matter enormously. Is this some kook sitting in his living room communicating via the internet offering to sell something?
No, it's very clear. It was the president-elect you were spying on, lying piece of shit. Since I cursed once, this is the curse video. That's it. I'm just like, I'm gonna do it.
Something he doesn't have? Or is this a serious person or company or entity with the ability to provide that technology, perhaps to an adversary. That would be an example of a case where knowing who the U.S. person was necessary to assess the information. So when that
thanks for explaining that. Liar?
That occurred, what I would do, or what any official would do, is to ask their briefer whether the intelligence community would go through its process, and there's a long-standing established process, to decide whether that information as to who the identity of the U.S. person was could be provided to me. So they'd take that question back, they'd put it through a process, and the intelligence community made the determination as to whether or not the identity of that American individual could be provided to me. That is what I and Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, CIA Director, DNI would do when we receive that information. We only do it to protect the American people, to do our jobs in the national security realm. That's the only reason.
Within that process and within the context of the Trump campaign, the Trump transition, did you seek the names of people involved to unmask the names of people involved in the Trump transition, the Trump campaign, people surrounding the president-elect?
Let me be clear.
In order to spy on them, in order to expose them?
Absolutely not for any political purposes, to spy, expose, anything. But
Did you leak the name of Mike Flynn?
I leaked nothing to nobody, and never have and never would. But let me explain this. First of all, Andrea, to talk about the contents.
Well, maybe we should believe her because her credibility is good, right? Oh, wait a minute. She's behind Benghazi, right? She's the one who did all the lying about Benghazi with Hillary. And, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, her credibility's no good. Why would we believe her? Why would anybody believe her? That's why Rand Paul is bringing you in to testify. You're in trouble, bitch.
Of a classified report to talk about the individuals on the foreign side who were the targets of the
You're
report
going
itself,
down,
or
bitch.
any Americans who may have been collected upon incidentally, is to disclose classified information.
You're a
I'm not going to
liar.
do that. And those people who are putting these stories out are doing just that.
Yeah.
I can't
Okay.
describe any particular report I saw. And by the way, I have no idea what reports are allegedly are being described by those who are putting out this story. I don't know what time frame they were from, I don't know the subject matter, and I don't know who they think was collected upon.
You're a liar. Liar, liar, liar. Throw her a softball question, host.
The allegation is that in one case they are alleging in the Daily Caller that there was a spreadsheet that you put out of all of these
I love the way you cut that out. The spreadsheet. Remember the spreadsheet?
names.
Absolutely false.
And circulated.
No spreadsheet, nothing of the sort. And let me also elaborate and say that when the intelligence community would respond to a request from a senior national security official for the identity of an American, that would come back only to the person who requested it. And it would be brought back to them directly.
To you directly.
To me or to whoever might have requested it on occasion. And this is, important. It was not then typically broadly disseminated throughout the national security community or the government. So the notion that, which some people are trying to suggest, that by asking for the identity of an American person, that is the same as leaking it, is completely false. There's no equivalence between so-called unmasking and leaking. The effort to ask for the identity of an American citizen is necessary to understand the importance of an intelligence report in some instances.
You illegally spied on an American citizen purposely for Obama, you lying piece of shit. Then you unmasked all the names, and then, which was illegal. So you illegally spied on Trump, 1. You illegally unmasked his name's felony 10 years, number 2. And then you illegally disseminated it into everyone in the 16, 17, or whatever number you like to call it, agencies, which now gives it the possibility of maybe 20,000 people with their hands on this information, sifting through it, looking for bad stuff, making up stories, and leaking it to the press. Thanks to you, you piece of shit.
Now, the House Chairman, Devin Nunes, said that the incidental collection of these names that he was briefed when he came to the White House in the complex of offices that you used to lead at the National Security Council. He said that it had nothing to do with the Russia investigation. Yet now the allegation is that you were responsible for leaking the fact that Mike Flynn had talked to Ambassador Kislyak and perhaps to others. Is there any truth to that?
I can't get into any specific reports. I don't know what Devin Nunes reviewed at the White House. What I can say is that there is an established process for senior national security officials to ask for the identity of U.S. persons in these reports. To get beyond that, Andrea, is to disclose classified information, and those people who are doing that are doing something very wrong.
Did the pace accelerate during the transition, perhaps in early December, when the president ordered an investigation into the hacking, the Russian hacking? Did the pace of unmasking requests, of your unmasking requests, accelerate toward the end of the White House tenure?
And I can't say the pace of unmasking requests would accelerate, but if you're asking were there more reports provided to senior U.S. officials after the president requested the compilation of the intelligence, which was ultimately provided in January, yes. What happened was, as the IC went about the business,
the intelligence community went about the business of following up on the president's order,
fulfilling the president's request for such a report. They went back and scrubbed more reports. They began to provide more such reports to American officials, including myself.
No.
Did you make more requests?
No. We're talking about before that, honey. Before that, when Farakis was in there and she was ripping through everything, and no, you're a liar. Farakis said we were told to gather as much info on Trump before we left because we knew once Trump got in, he would know what's going on and he would put a stop to it. You're a liar.
To find the identity of Americans who have been picked up in incidental collection. I'm not asking you the substance, which I know is classified, but
liar.
Were there more instances where at the tail end of the administration that you had to make, that you felt you had to make those requests to follow up on the raw data?
Liar.
Andrea, I really can't be particular about the pace because understand that over 8 years, for me and others who served, it was not uncommon. In fact, it was necessary at times to make those requests to find out the identity of U.S. officials on every topic under the sun when it seemed relevant. I don't have a particular recollection of doing that more frequently after...
Liar. Oh yeah, by the way, she's a fucking liar. The next question is who is leaking? Susan Rice is. And she's going to be answering the unmasking scandal questions. Trump's going to take all these people down. Just you wait. Because they're liars. Share the good news. Get it out there. They're scared as hell. They're not acting like they are, but they are. Mainstream media doesn't want you to get this out. Yahoo's going to even block this on me. Or whatever the name, YouTube is going to block this, probably. Yeah. That's right. Blocking all of the Susan Rice stuff that I've been doing. So, copy it and share it before they do. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already subscribed. And also like the video. It's important and it means a lot. Thank you. Talk to you next time. I'm not joking. They're going. This is not like a, oh, watch it and copy it before they delete it. This is a real, watch this, copy it because they're going to delete it. Okay?